That seemed very solemn coming into this one.
Yeah. Well, I was like, "Welcome to church of the
Yeah.
50-yard line."
Oh man, we didn't even have
I
an
was like,
intro or anything. Just
yeah,
straight in.
just
Oh
straight in.
man, man.
Intro,
Well,
Kyle. Why don't
My
you hit that
brothers.
button, dude?
Oh,
yeah.
what? Actually, while it was counting down, like my browser like froze, so I couldn't press anything else. I was like, ah, crap. Like, dang it! Like, oh, you thought I wanted to hit you with something here, huh?
Yeah, right,
No,
man.
not this
Well, we're
time.
sorry we're a little bit late on trying to get this live going and everything. It's been kind of a little weird and everything too. And obviously the game was kind of weird and all that good stuff. But we're the Bolt Bros here. We're here. We
Yes,
are
sir.
here after a Chargers loss to the Chiefs, 27-24. Man, a lot to come from this game. I mean, it was good times and then there was bad times.
A lot. Yes.
Yeah, and
Yep.
it was interesting to watch that game because there was a lot of us hanging around and us kind of just not committing to make this game be out of reach in a lot of different ways. And I mean, we could chat about a lot of things. I brought up I wrote down basically everything that happened in the game, and I got some points that we could kind of just key in on, and we could just talk to everybody else who jumps into the chat. Once again, if you guys are in there, I know we're loading people in right now into the chat. Andy's got some technical problems right now. He looks like he doesn't have a face for some random reason.
It's a super dark up in there.
Super dark. I don't know what his deal is there. I don't know. Maybe he's going to just jump off or something too. But let's kind of load people in here, and we'll kind of go from there. But a lot to talk about with this game. Kyle, what's kind of I know we were chatting a little bit about just kind of your feelings on it and first feels of it. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, obviously I'm pretty dang scared that Herb is hurt more than we actually think he might be. Because I mean, yeah, sure, like I mean a lot of quarterbacks do play with like with busted ribs and soreness and stuff like that. I mean, that's just the game. I mean, I'm pretty sure every player does play with soreness and
100%.
feeling something, but like a quarterback to have hurt ribs like that is not a good situation at all.
Never.
Yeah, because obviously we saw like the next couple of plays after that he was throwing the ball high. He could have easily ran for a little first down and slid and stuff like that, but instead he just decided to kind of just run out and toss the ball. I'm not happy. I'm woeful. I'm worried for sure.
Yeah, and the thing about it is like we're going into a long weekend. You hope that it's not as bad as what we're hearing. Brandon Staley in the after game or post game, he was talking about Corey Linsley has a knee issue. So, and I remember, and I want to say I remember hearing about a knee issue in training camp with him too. And he was out for a couple of days of some sort. And there was some time that he was just out for just a short amount of time. But it sounds like there's a knee issue with Corey Linsley. Put in Will Clapp. That really changed the dimension of that line. I mean, people underestimate what a center does for a line. Yeah. It's a massive, massive difference of how that offense operates all around. And, and then you got Trey Pipkins who went out. Storm Norton came in. At least we got a guy that's, how many people dislike Norton, but then he came in and did his thing. And at least we had a guy that's experienced the right side. It's just, a lot of things that are kind of going wrong here for the Chargers in the short amount of time. And, it's tough to kind of come with these games. I do think in our preseason, estimates, I said that the Chargers were going to lose to the Chiefs, I believe, in this game. So my predictions are so far fine. So it's an interesting thing to kind of watch this game. But Andy, I know you're kind of having some issues. I don't know if you can hear us clear or not, but like kind of what's your first initial reactions to this game?
Yeah, you guys are just a little lagging. I'm probably going to bounce around. Carlos, that pick six was interesting because Everett wanted to come out, and it looked like Herbert was like, no, stay in the game, stay in the game. And I think Everett was gassed, and then he gave up on the play. He didn't do what he needed to do. And it's interesting how that completely changed the game. And then you notice he got hurt right after that.
Yep.
He was getting hit quite a bit because Lindsley was out, and then obviously Storm Norton was in. And boy, it just goes to show you how much different the play on the line was with Corey Lindsley and Trey Pipkins. And boy, those two guys go out. I mean, that line was just not that good. I mean, it just wasn't good. So, but still, I want to choke out Joe Lombardi. That's been third down call, 3rd and 1, and he decides to run it right up the middle behind Will Clapp. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, dude. What was that? I mean, it was a horrible call. And that's just awful. And I'm like, and I understand, hey, look, you're only going after 1 yard, but at the end of the day, Corey Lindsley's not in the game. You got Will Clapp, and run away from him that direction. So, or go to the edge, do something different. It just was stupid. Just stupid. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I really feel like that was just horrible. I really feel like the injuries lost us that game for sure. Right. Especially with Herbert, especially with the line. I think the line injuries affected Herbert's play.
Yeah.
Affected the run game. Our entire rhythm as a team just went out the door. It was just done, and those injuries, and it sucks to lose that way. It really does suck to lose that way.
Yeah.
You should not lose that way. It's okay if it's a shootout and they just outplay you, but when you have injuries and it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I was actually really disappointed in JC Jackson's play as well. Like, I noticed like a couple of like awfully missed tackles, like where like the guy just caught it like right in front of him, and he like lunged for him and just totally like didn't even touch anything. Like, he just totally airballed it essentially. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, maybe he should have just stayed out this game as well. Like, I mean, and just keep Michael Davis in to cover for him or something. But like, I don't know. I was a little concernicus about all that as well. I was stoked that he was in the game, but it seemed like he was not up to his top form still.
Yeah, and it is tough to go from the last time he basically practiced was with the Dallas Cowboys in the scrimmage in training camp to coming into game speed immediately right then and there. And, I mean, to be honest, like that deep pass that led to a touchdown, I mean, it was like a fingertip away from basically being batted down. And that's kind of one of his 100%. Strengths there,
actually,
too.
He did tip it too.
Yep, he did tip it, just barely got into the player's hands. So it's one of those things that, hey, he could have had maybe another day to be able to kind of or at least another game to sit out that he could have been a little bit more up to speed. But the same side, I mean, lockdown corners sometimes aren't lockdown corners. And this was just kind of, I don't know if he was conditioned at that point. So,
yeah. And still, like, I mean, this wasn't a very like decisive win for the Chiefs by any means.
No, they didn't look that good.
I mean, it wasn't like the Bills when the Bills in the Rams game where Jalen Ramsey he looked like a freaking, a child out there compared to Stephon Diggs. So, so this wasn't really the end of the world on that situation, at least,
right.
Yeah. And compare. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. But, another one.
Well, my biggest frustration though is how bad we've played in the second half, both of our games. We have looked like dog crap both games.
Yep.
And that is a problem because you're not going to win that way. And James, you're like way in the middle of the screen right now, just so you know.
Right.
You're just like way up in the front. Scoot back just a little bit. Yeah, but I mean, it's so bad how like we've played so poorly in the second half in both games. And yeah, the injuries stacked up, but the problem is, I think it was partially play calling. I think that was the line not being gassed. The defense did not look that great the second half. They did a much better job of stopping the blitz the second half because Mahomes was getting dry hump for most of the first half. He really was. Oh my gosh, man, that was really weird. that they shut down Mac, which blew me away. Bosa as well. So yeah, really interesting. It was almost like the air was let out of us. Somehow we just lost it. Like we're a balloon and we lost all the air and everyone just kind of quit, which that scares me more than anything. So I don't know, guys. I mean, what do you guys think? What are your thoughts on the game? I know, we got a few people rolling in right now. Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys really notice this, but going back to your point about the second half for you, Andy, and how it kind of just seemed very soft all of a sudden again. So I felt like the game changed. And when quarter 3 started, we had our 5th possession. Corey Linsley was out. Will Clapp was in at that point. And that's when Mike Williams had the one-handed TD. Amazing. I'm thinking, great. 17-7. Awesome. We're good to go. Third quarter is going great. The thing is, though, with the Chiefs drive shortly after that, that's when this Asante Samuel incomplete interception happened, which, man, he should. I think he was shocked when that ball was initially thrown at him because it didn't really make any sense at all. That throw seemed really, really out of nowhere, 100%. And that's why it bounced off of him, and then he had to kind of make a play to it.
Yeah.
But he kind of looked frustrated at that time, and I don't know what it was. They ended up getting the long 45-yard touchdown to Watson over J.C. Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
The ensuing possession for the Chargers, that was a 3-and-out, and they were just doing a lot of hurry for some reason. We maybe had the ball for like 45 seconds, if that. I swear it was like the quickest possession that we've ever had after we had kind of a long drive on defense against us. We then, defensively, we basically held them to a 3-and-out. KVN hit Mahomes really quick up the middle. That was an awesome play. But then the next possession, we just had another quick 3-and-out again, too. And it just felt like it was two similar plays to the right side that were kind of short dump-offs that basically led to nothing. And then Chris Jones got the sack to end the drive. And that, to me, changed things because I felt like we tried to be like hurry and kind of like didn't know what to do kind of thing. And I don't know if that was just a Lombardi situation where he got panicked because everybody knows they're looking at him. When I jumped into Brandon Staley's postseason conference to talk about the game, so many people were like, Lombardi needs to go. Lombardi needs to go. Like, that guy is probably on a very short leash, in my opinion. It seems like he's under the gun right now. I mean, he's being a liability to this offense. So I don't know. I know we've chatted a little bit about Lombardi and everything. I mean, what are some initial thoughts that you guys are talking about with Lombardi?
Well, I think he gets really conservative and he makes really odd play calls. You know, a lot of first down runs. You're like, why are you running? I mean, I understand the concept of running on a first down, but they know you're running on a first down. Do something different. Do a screen pass. Do something a little different. The thing that's interesting about the Saints offense, which is what we're running, of course, is it requires a little bit of trickery, and I think the play calling needs to be a little bit more inventive, right?
Yeah.
He's become very vanilla, in my opinion. Run, pass, or definitely maybe showing a tell of what we're going to do, right? So he's not saying everyone knows when McKitty's in there, it's most likely going to be a run play. Now, McKitty did get, he will get a pass anytime, like every once in a while. But I feel like we're running the same formations, and I kind of know when it's going to be a run play. Now, if I know that it's going to be a run play, I promise you the other team knows it's going to be a run play. So, I just think when you start to become predictable, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right, Carlos. Dude, hey, the fact that he came back out there was going to try was amazing. I mean, it's but again, watch my video on Joe Lombardi, guys. I've criticized him even last season. I mean, it's just getting worse in my opinion, and I feel like that loss was, we almost lost to the Raiders because of Lombardi,
right? And
I think you can chalk this one up to Lombardi. Now, again, the injuries did affect it as well too. But he played a bad game. He played a bad game. So
for sure.
Yeah, and the truth is too is like, I mean, I don't see Lombardi like throwing the ball deep enough. You know, just making the defense think that, hey, they have some deep threats in this team, and they may throw it deep if we're not careful, but it's like every single time it's always like, maybe midfield or short each time. And so, I mean, I just don't like like that about his offense, like I want to see some more gutsy passes, but not right now. I mean, not when not when he's hurt like that, of course.
Right. Well, I mean, even to say when he was hurt, I
Mhm.
mean, it was and Kyle, you already kind of brought it up about the whole thing where he
Mhm.
could have ran for a first down and
Right.
then Herbert kind of just like, I give up on it kind of thing. Like he seemed
Yeah.
like he couldn't even like lift his arm. And then
Right.
the next play, just freaking rocket 40-yard
Yeah.
like pass on the money. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, man, is he just playing the Chiefs defense or something here? Like, what is
Yeah.
happening here?
Is this a psychological game now?
Yeah, what is going on? And then
Yeah,
when we get close to the touchdown,
I think this is really going to be the conversation for the week, right? Is what really happened there. And yeah, I think I don't know.
I think
yeah, at least he tried. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing about it is, and I really truly believe it's just some broken ribs. That's kind of a big issue with quarterbacks every now and then, and they usually put tons of pads around the ribs and everything like that, and they just kind of work through it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Baker Mayfield had it a couple of years ago, and he just looks like this little tank running around. He's got just like really thick looking body, basically.
Yeah.
But I think that's the issue. And then it sounds with Corey Linsley, there's a knee issue there. I mean, we'll see kind of what happens here, and then we'll see what happens with Pipkins. So,
right.
One point that I kind of wanted to bring up too is, and shout out to the Chiefs defense. I mean, whatever they did a pretty good job of trying to hold this game and keep this game to a very defensive game. They held us basically to a third down we were only 5 out of 16 on third downs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty unacceptable for a game like this. You need to be on fire and be on it. And so, but at the same side, we were 4 for 4 on fourth down. So, like, I don't know what it is. We like wake up again on fourth downs. I mean, we saw it twice in that drive that ended in a touchdown where there were basically 2 fourth downs that ended up becoming touchdowns real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an incredible situation to see. But I mean, coming out of this, like, once again, I didn't really feel like we're going to come and win this game anyways. And so this is kind of just one of those things that I think, hey, we pick ourselves up and move on from this point. Now, it's just how bad are these injuries at this point? I don't know. But either way, Herbert's a gamer. He's truly a gamer. We see that, and he still can make throws when injured. So pretty crazy. But I don't know. It's kind of a tough one coming out of it. I mean, we hope for the best, and we basically had the game once again, and then we found a way to charger ourselves again. So
that's right.
A little bit of charging in this one. So tough to look at. But DeAndre Carter looked pretty good. I'll give him kind of a little tip of the hat. I think he did well. I'll say this. One other point. Asante Samuel Jr. has the potential to be a very, very good cornerback.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing.
Very, very good cornerback. Now, if he got that pick that was basically on like the 25-yard line, this game would have been totally different at this point. He didn't expect that at all. The one that was in the end zone, that would have been a pick 6. He would have housed that thing. See you later. That would have changed 100%. The game.
Yeah.
The game is a game of inches and just minor things that make a giant difference to the game. And he could have been a complete game changer in this game. And it's going to.
Let me ask you a question. Would we have won this game if Allen was out there?
I
think the answer is yes.
I think the answer is yes.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think, chat? Because here's the thing. We're talking about again, our defense did enough. Did enough.
Yep.
But our offense did not do enough because Keenan Allen wasn't out on the field. I mean, it just goes to show you you brought up the third down thing. And by the way, guys, I'm sorry if I'm talking over you. I'm so lagged right now. So I apologize. So I apologize, guys. I don't mean to go over you. I apologize. But it had a huge lag there. But you talked about third down. Keenan Allen is the third down person for the Chargers. Yep. He is the target. And we did not do well in third down. And so this game was lost largely because we could not convert third downs, especially in the second half. And, then obviously Herbert got hurt. We started having these offensive line issues. That was bad. That's what lost us this game across the board. It was not really, play calling, yes. Like, I literally want to remove Joe Lombardi's head from his body at this point. But at the end of the day, still not having Keenan Allen out there. The thing about Keenan Allen is so great. We talked about this with our boy Alex Gibbons, the Chiefs fan.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to find a hole in the zone. And I noticed the other wide receivers didn't do that. They never created separation enough to get the third down converted. So that's my take on it. That's my biggest take in general. It was the third down conversions, not having Keenan Allen out there. That was huge. So that's my take. So I'll be quiet for a while. I'll wait for a gap. So I won't talk over you guys. I'm sorry, bros, if I did talk over you. I didn't mean to.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, and that is a good point. If Allen was out there, would it have been a different game? The thing about it is like Mike Williams showed up. He did do his thing.
Yeah, he did.
He ended up getting, I think it was 113 something yards. Let me pull this up real quick. It's funny, pregame I said that Justin Herbert's going to throw 3 touchdowns, which he did, and that is now his 15th in his career, which is pretty incredible to see. So, Mike Williams, 8 catches, 113, 1 touchdown. Gerald Everett, 6 catches, 71 yards. Eckler, 9 for 55. And even to kind of go back on that, our run game needs to get figured out too. Obviously, first game we had a healthy line, still kind of have about the same production out of it. Now we don't have a healthy line, and we still have the same production out of it pretty much. So it's just kind of a tough situation on looking at that. So there's things that this seems to be a fair time to have a little bit of an extended weekend to kind of work through things. And we do have a somewhat softer schedule coming into next week. Now we'll just see how everything kind of works out. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with Allen not being there. Obviously, Allen's that guy that finds a way to get on third downs. It's another target that's Herbert has really good continuity with. But I don't know. It's a tough situation. It should if he was out there, we'll never know and what the difference in the outcome could have been. But he is definitely another receiver that really has a good vibe with Herbert. So Kyle, you got any comments on that?
Like the chat, I'm totally agree with the chat here. They keep saying like those picks that were called back was absolutely demoralizing. It was just really just bad timing with those penalties, and that really just kind of like set the tone of the game and a lot of like their minds, I'm sure. And that was really just like I felt like it was downhill from there. It was literally the domino effect, just boop, 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 and it's just really just unfortunate.
The air out of the balloon at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you did. For a second, you just we lost you, but we got the gist of it. That it was like literally it was a farting balloon. Just Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I'm reading an article. It sounds like Brandon Staley said that he's okay. He suffered an abdominal injury, so it does not seem serious. They did X-ray him, but it says he's okay, and Justin Herbert is okay with an abdominal injury. That's exactly what I'm reading right now. So, but again, guys, the concern I have more than anything is the line is all messed up, right? You got Trey Pipkins now, and you got and I don't know what happened to Pipkins. I'm still trying to look at injuries. I mean, guys, it just goes to show injuries affect a team so much.
Yeah.
And Pipkins looked good, and Corey Linsley, he's all pro center, right? You lose 2 guys like that, man, the line is completely different, and it really changes what you can do. So, really interesting. So,
big difference.
Boy.
Yeah. And
Yep.
I know somebody
Maybe we
just
should
brought
talk
up
about their
that
defense at
Callahan
this point
call,
too.
right?
Yeah, that was
And
horrible.
I know
Yeah,
Ryan
let's talk about
brought
the
up the
defense.
Callahan call too, and how that
Yep.
was a pretty bad call all around. I mean
I
that
agree.
shouldn't have been that, and that's the thing that's sucks because sometimes these calls come in your favor, and sometimes they go against the team that you're trying to root for. And I feel like as a Chargers fan, I feel like we always end up getting the short end of the stick most of the time for calls like that for some reason or another.
All
We
the
always
time.
end up getting burned. But it's frustrating to have those type of calls. But I don't know. The way I look at this is like I didn't expect this one to win. I would have loved to be able to have out of this coming out of 2-0, being 2-0 in the division. I think the thing is with this season, it's long, and we still have basically another solid 15 games ahead of us, kind of thing. So a lot could be changed, and a lot could change for the Chiefs, a lot could change for the Raiders, a lot could change for the Bills, a lot could change for a lot of other teams out there. So
well,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about a lot about that too, though. I mean, like we have always known that this division is going to be like a 3-3 division. Like, so it's such a hard division to play in right now. It's literally the hardest division in all of football. Like all the tough teams that we have to face, and like, I mean, obviously, like, we are pretty sure that the Raiders are trash. They always have been trash. The Broncos, they're not going to actually. I don't think they're going to do too well. But hey, I mean, that's just me personally. And obviously, I got support, and obviously we're in the AFC Wild West. We're kind of like alternates for that group, and so we clearly we don't think that they're as good as us. Like those two teams for sure. So Captain Jack, if you're listening, you heard it from me. That's cool. But I'm just gonna say, like, we know that, like, that we are better than what we showed tonight. That's what I think pisses me off the most about this is that like we have the team. Let's motherfucking show the world that we got the team. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a kid show. Sorry, hey, I'm sorry. Last I checked, I said this is not for kids on YouTube. That's right. So, yeah, man. I mean, I'm just like, I don't like. I mean, obviously, I hate losing. It's not. This is not where I want to be right now. But yes, we came into this one like really like, well, we could lose this one, but no, I hate that mentality. I don't want to think like that at all. So
never.
Yeah.
Never. But it's hard to be able to win every game too. And sometimes I would much rather lose a game to where it was competitive versus us losing against the Texans last year to a bad team.
That's the truth.
Like that's a big difference of a type of loss. And this was not one of those type of losses. This was a competitive loss. And, we showed a lot of talent. I mean, there's some people in there saying, hey, we were the more talented team that ended up losing. And there's just a couple things that happened to where, once again, I'm going to keep going back to that Asante Samuel pick. Both of those picks. One was a pick six, clear pick six, if he got that in the end zone. Completely different game at that point. The other pick that he potentially had but then dropped, we were in scoring position right then and there. Could have been a completely different game from that point. Once again, it's just the game of inches. There's small little differences in the game that could have made a giant difference to that game. That could have been 14 points on the board for us right then and there.
Easy.
That would have taken away points from them. And so this defense is good. This offense is good. The play calling is bad. For some reason in the second half, Joe Lombardi smokes weed or something at halftime and gets like lazy or something. And something changes at that point. And I don't know why it's that way. I mean, even last year, if you look at the stats, we don't really score touchdowns in the third quarter and the first quarter for some reason. We're just slow getting out of the gate and slow getting back into the game after the half. So for whatever reason, we need to find some way to be able to be better in the second half of the game and be faster. You know what? All gas, no brakes, like Andy says all the time. And just needs to be figured out. To be figured out. So long season ahead, and I expect some changes coming along.
Yeah, let's talk about the defense. We've been beating the offense like a dead horse at this point. Let's talk about defense. I mean, But again, we have talked about Asante Samuel. He looks great. Look, some people say J.C. Jackson didn't look good. I thought he looked okay. I don't think they threw his direction a whole lot. That one touchdown went to him, and I do wonder though if that was really a blown coverage or he picked up somebody that was just streaking down the middle.
Sure.
But dude, Kyle Van Noy looked really good out there. I mean, he made some great plays. He looked awesome. I'm a little disappointed we didn't see a lot with Bosa and Mack. They shut them down. But what does that say though? That says that the Raiders' offensive line is horrible. Okay.
Yep.
Because Mack probably should have had at least four sacks.
Yep.
But we didn't get a whole lot of pressure. And again, Mahomes is a much different quarterback than Derek Carr. Derek Carr is just a pocket passer, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mahomes, he makes plays off script. The thing that I always come back to with good teams is you cannot beat yourself. And that's what we did today.
Yep.
We beat ourselves, and there were just a couple little problems, a couple little issues, and that's what lost us the game. And defensively, a couple little breakdowns, that off-script touchdown at the line with Mahomes just blew me away. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That was all Mahomes. That was 100% Mahomes.
That's his magic. That was his magic right there.
Yeah. And again, the Chiefs look good, not great. And the injuries killed us. Now, I also, if there's a positive, and guys agree with me or disagree with me, and I hope I'm not talking over anybody here.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to get a loss out of the way. If there's a benefit, it's good to get a loss out of the way like this at the beginning of the season, because then you realize, okay, hey, we're down to earth. This is what happened. This is where we were deficient. Now we need to pick ourselves up and move forward, right? And get them on the next one. We'll split 1-1 against the Chiefs. We'll win. We'll beat them in SoFi, and then we'll be good to go and take the division. Right. But there's a lot of good positives we could take away the defensive wise. I really do not think they played well offensively. That pick six was huge. Yep. So, Chargers got me drinking again. Don't do that, bro. Drinking doesn't help. Drinking doesn't.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Put it down.
What are some other thoughts on the defense that you could take away? I mean, who looked good? Who looked bad? What do you think?
Well, here's the thing though too. Like they're saying in the chat, J.C. Jackson was targeted 5 times, and they got a reception every time. So his coverage was not good at all for us, and that's what a lot of people are frustrated about, is that he's not at top form. And obviously, like, maybe he really wasn't ready to go. And I mean, he only did like 2 limited practices before this game. So, I mean, that I think this is going to be a lot of the conversation before for the next couple games or weekdays, essentially, until the Jaguars on the 25th. I mean, obviously, by the Jaguars, he should be at top form by that point.
Yeah.
So, and I think maybe that's just it. Yeah, this was a huge game, and he should have played it. Because otherwise, if he didn't play it, everyone would have been like, "Oh, well, they should have played J.C. Jackson," But I don't know. It's obviously hindsight's always 20/20. So what do you say about that?
It always is.
Yeah.
And it was an awkward game in the sense that things just did not go our way. And I don't know what it is about the second half. For whatever reason, both games we've looked very bad in the second half.
Yeah.
And defensively, we didn't even look that good the second half. That's a concern to me, right? And it's one of those things where, look, you can't do that with you could do that with the Jaguars. Jags are probably not going to be that great.
Yeah.
You know that, I know that. They're not going to be that great. But the Chiefs, no, not going to work out. And by the way, Kyle and I are going to be at the Jags game for sure. So whoever's going to be there, come say what's up to us, guys, for sure. So we will be there.
Sir.
For sure. So definitely message us. We'll be talking about it all week. So let's get together for sure, guys.
And we're gonna we have a little something special cooking up with one of the organizations there in Thunder Alley. Actually, I think they're technically under this other one called We Charge LA. It's like I found out there's 2 different sides of Thunder Alley itself, and there's like the one side and there's 2 sides. So it's pretty cool. So we'll keep you guys posted on how that develops. So
good.
Look out for us.
We'll fill you up on that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So again, man, there's a lot to unpack here, guys. A lot of videos to come for sure, but keep the thoughts coming. I keep trying to find more updates on injuries for Justin Herbert. It looks like, again, Brandon Staley says he's okay. He just suffered some sort of ab injury. You got to wonder, maybe he's got punched really hard in the stomach, maybe lost his wind, and you never know. I mean, let's just hope it's not a rib, because they did take an X-ray, and they're not saying it's an X-ray or an injury to the ribs. So
that's good.
I want to find out about Pipkins, and I want to find out about Corey Linsley as well. I know Linsley's a knee, but I want to find out about Pipkins, so I'll keep looking for that as well.
Yeah, it's interesting to be able to see that. And the way I kept seeing it, he kept kind of grabbing around his ribs and everything too. And I remember some players in the past, and I want to say we had somebody in the past that had, and maybe it was Keenan Allen, where he had an ab injury, and that really ended up becoming a bigger issue for him. Now, once again, this could be like an injection that he just needs to have before a game to be able to kind of ease the pain or whatnot, so he could start balling or whatnot. But I think it could be a manageable thing. I mean, even to see when it happened, he still came out there and threw lasers and threw a touchdown, threw a 40-yard pass, still did really, really well. But then there was weird times where he could have run for a first down, and he basically just stopped for some reason. And it's interesting to see where this goes and where it's going to be led to. I mean, once again, Herbert's a major piece of this team and a major piece of what our success will be this year. And we'll see what happens here. I was going to go back a little bit to the defense, and some people kind of jumped a little bit about Drew Tranquill, and he came out pretty good.
Tranquill looked amazing. He's looking sharp.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he has been really stepping up his game quite a bit this year, and we have actually, I think, a much better blend of linebackers than we realize. With Kyle Van Noy, Kenneth Murray has done pretty well since he's been back. Drew Tranquill has done pretty well. I feel like I have seen nothing about Troy Reeder at all. Other than on special teams. And so I'm really excited to be able to see that aspect of things. I do think that we do have the defense that we were hoping for. I do think that, and some people said in the comments, Jaguars are probably going to get a beatdown next week, because there's going to be a big like outpouring of emotions, and we're just going to, all gas, no brakes. You would hope, right? Next week that we will just come out firing on all cylinders. So, we'll see how it all pans out, but I'm not too worried about Herbert. I think Herbert will be back out there. We'll see what happens with Linsley and Pipkins. The thing about Pipkins, I don't even remember what happened. It was almost like at halftime, they just like, hey man, like, you're not going to play. You're going to put in Storm Norton or something. Mm-hmm. So I really don't know what happened there. So
yeah, I mean,
well, Nas Adderley had a interception, maybe two with our boy, on a blank. Our boy, Callahan had one. Nas Adderley, and then, and again, so there was 4 picks that were bailed out this season. And remember, this is what happened last season too. The Chiefs started off really slow last season, so I think they've gotten lucky up to this point, but at the end of the day, they still walked away with the W. That's all that matters, right? At the end of the day, it was an ugly win. An ugly win. That's a good way of describing it.
Yeah,
ugly win.
Well, I mean, like we said earlier, though, too. I mean, it really wasn't a decisive win like it was like the Bills-Rams game, like opening night Thursday night. Like,
nope.
So
100%.
we actually did like show that we can go toe to toe against the Chiefs, even with our primary target, Keenan Allen out, and we can still come back. We can keep a game pretty close, even with a couple interceptions like that. Yeah, they were demoralizing, but they didn't score. They scored 14 points on a lot of those picks, but we got the juice, guys.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, I think we have a lot of pieces here. Yeah, we have a lot of pieces here that are going to be able to do well, and once again, it's hard to be able to win every single game in the NFL.
Right.
Not many teams have done it. So the 72 Dolphins are the only team that have done it, and it wasn't on a 17-game season too, by the way.
I mean, Patriots, they did it, but then again,
they lost in the last 35 seconds of the season. Yeah.
Mother F, that's so freaking wild.
So
what still kills me about that one? Sorry to go tangent on this, whatever, but Junior Seau was on that team. And God damn it, why didn't he? Yeah, I'm so mad that he didn't get that win, so that way he couldn't get that Super Bowl.
100%.
So upset about that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and again, sometimes it just doesn't go your way. Now again, I want us to win every game, and bottom line, that's not really realistic. But this game again really boiled down to injuries and just some plays and play calls that didn't go our way, which is really frustrating. So, but it will be interesting to see how this plays out this week. Now, I mean, we could even talk about special teams. Hopkins hit his field goal as well. And J.K. Scott actually punted a little bit less, but he was also punting out of the end zone. So I think he averaged a little over 40 yards a punt. But he punted the ball quite a few times. I think he punted it 4 times today. Let's see. We kicked off. Let's see. So 6 times. Wow. So he only averaged 40 yards a punt, right? So that's a lot, right? And again, that's an offense problem right there, right? So we don't want our punter punting as often as we need to. Now, again, you can have the argument, well, maybe we should go back to 4th and Staley, right, and start just going for it like crazy on 4th down. But guys, we have more weapons, and it's really interesting to see. But again, there's a lot of good to take away from this, but a lot that's frustrating because at the end of the day, yeah, right. I mean, it hasn't gone our way for years, but look, at the end of the day, statistics will say it'll come back to us at some point as well too. And look, hey, it's a tough team. Again, and I said this before, you have to beat the Chiefs. You cannot beat yourself. Right? You cannot beat yourself. Again, James and I, we play competitive sports. I play softball competitively. James and I both play pickleball competitively. When you beat yourself, which is really what we did today, guys, we beat ourselves. It's hard to win, and you can't win against the Chiefs that way. You cannot. And so that's the unfortunate truth. And I'm chalking it up to we beat ourselves is how I view it 100%. So, and you could blame the refs, but bottom line, man, Asante, Derwin, dude, our team is geared up. Our team is geared up. We just, a few things didn't go our way. And it sucks. It sucks. A loss like this sucks, but at least it was competitive, so special teams. Oh boy.
One thing I was going to say about special teams is, J.K. Scott booting that punt out of like the end zone with that short things. Like, dude, if that was Ty Long, it would have been a safety, right? Or a block punt and 100%. A touchdown right there. So that was a clutch moment right there. I was like, I was a little worried, but then after he just got that off like really far, and I think it went like 60 yards or something like that, I'm like, dude, that is a night and day difference right there, So like, I'm not stressing it as much in that situation anymore, but so like, I was like, okay, good. Thank God. Like the worst thing in my head, I was like, oh my God, we're going to fumble this thing. He's all nerves right now, but he was cool as a cucumber, man. His hand is nice.
I think we're talking about offense, but one of my frustrating things so far in 2 weeks, we have not run the ball well. I mean, Austin Eckler,
that's true,
averaging 2.8 yards a carry. Joshua Kelly this game rushed for 4 times, 5.5 yards a carry. Sona Michelle 4 times, 3.2 yards a carry. There's something wrong with our offensive line running the ball, and that's weird to me. I kind of expected it to be better this season so far. So that has been a big concern, right? I think we should probably look at that a little more. I do feel like a lot of the run plays are pretty similar. There are RPOs, which are interesting. The thing, though, that I will say, when you run the RPO, read pass option, and Herbert is running it this way, and obviously Eckler is running on the inside or whatever, the fact is they know that Herbert up to this point has not tucked the ball and ran. I think I've seen him run a couple times this entire season. So I still think if you do the RPO, the quarterback still has to run to keep the defense honest, because nobody's fooled. Nobody's going to be fooled until he starts tucking and running it. They're going to be, we all know that he's going to get the ball. So that needs to change. If they're going to keep doing the RPO, I would just do play action at this point, because if Herbert's not going to run the ball, what's the point of doing the RPO? There's no point to it. So, again, the running game has been a problem. And at the second half of that game, they pretty much just ran prevent defense, and they've got pressure with 4 guys. That's a problem. I always say, In the NFL, you can get pressure with 4 guys. You rush 4 guys, you drop the rest into coverage. Your goose is cooked. Your goose is cooked. And that's when Justin Herbert, he got hit a few times and the line just did not cover him well at all. So yeah, that's a concern to me. That's a big concern for me moving forward.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's on to the next, in my opinion. I mean, we're just on to the next, see where it goes from here with the injuries and everything, and we'll adjust at that point. We got all the pieces. We're fine. I feel like Allen's going to be coming back next week, which a lot of the people are saying that's going to be the potential for him next week. So I'm not too overly concerned about it. I don't think Justin Herbert's going to have some sort of injury where he's going to be out or while. If it was like a serious injury that he was not playing after being injured, I would be a little bit more worried about coming into next week. But he went out there and still balled, and he still did what he needed to do. And his defense has all the pieces it needs to be and everything. And so I'm not really concerned about any of this at all. So I think we're all good. I think play calling just needs to adjust. And once again, there's just the little things out there that could have happened, could have made this game a totally different direction. It could have been a 31-10 game if a couple of those picks landed for us. I mean, the Chiefs started playing a game where they ended up throwing the ball really fast, quick, short, intermediate routes, because then that gets rid of the pass rush at that point. To be honest, 2 of those Mahomes touchdowns were Mahomes magic. I mean, he just made something out of nothing.
It was.
And so
it was.
That's what it is. But for us, I'm not worried about it. On to the next. Ready for the Jags. Let's just get through it. Tomorrow we should probably know more about what's going on with Justin Herbert. I was just reading some tweets about it and everything. So, I think that's just something that we'll find out here shortly. As a positive too, if Patrick Mahomes really gave up so much, I mean, he didn't bomb the ball like he did on the Cardinals last week. By the way, he went 235 yards, 2 touchdowns versus what did he do? 360 something yards, 5 touchdowns on the Cardinals. So there was a little bit of a difference there for his play. Travis Kelce only got 5 catches, 51 yards, 0 touchdowns. That's the things you want to see.
Well, and again, that pick was huge. That pick was huge.
Massive.
And again, I'm going to break it down to just a few things, right? Our defense was great. We were good enough to win. Not having Allen killed us. To me, that was the biggest part of the problem with this game by far, because Allen is so good at third down. I'm looking at our third down efficiency. We were 5 for 16, and they were 4 for 12. But check out how many first downs we got. We got 21 first downs. They got 15. And again, I'm not seeing an offense that really beat us. Again, we beat ourselves, and our injuries piled up, and that was part of the problem too. And you're right, Ernest. That pick was a 14-point swing. That was the change in the game. I think it started with Corey Linsley going out, then Pipkins going out, and then it just started piling up on that offense. I think if they had stayed in, it was really good. And I will say this. Let's see, the Chargers had 71 total plays. Wow.
Yeah.
71 total plays. 71 total plays.
We had the ball the majority of the game too.
Yeah, and we had 33 minutes of time of possession. They had 26.
Yeah.
And that one pick was huge, guys. And again, so look, you can sit back all day and look again. We've said this already, guys. I know there are people piling in that haven't been in through this thread this entire time. We beat ourselves in this game. We really did. I feel like it was so funny. I remember that play when Everett got to the line, and Everett was like, "I want out." And then Herbert looked at him and said, "No, you stay in." I remember Herbert specifically saying to stay in. Do you guys remember seeing that?
Yeah.
Because he was going to go out. He's like, no, stay in. Because I know he wanted to throw him the ball again because he wanted to go there and just do a real quick little end route.
Yeah.
Everett gave up on the play. He just stood there and didn't do whatever he was supposed to do correctly. And that was just so big. And so coulda, woulda, shoulda, guys, right? I mean, that's the situation, but it's tough. It's a tough one for sure.
Yep. Well, I think the Jags will probably get a little bit of a beatdown next week. So, hey, you'd
Yeah.
hope so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be at that game. We're going to be at that game for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So,
you guys will be
It's gonna
there.
make the
And
game. Yeah.
it'll be good.
yeah.
We did have.
Hey guys,
we did
smash that like button too. By the way, smash the like. Look down there. Hit like and subscribe. That does help us. We want people to see this video, right? It's important that people come out and see what we're saying, and we want people to know that Charger fans are alive and well, and we are rooting for our team, guys. Okay, that's important. So
I do have that emergency shot of bleach just sitting here right next to me, but
I'm gonna drink a bottle of Everclear after this right now.
Right, I got it. It's good.
Goodbye, cruel world. I'm gonna jump off a big building.
I did pin some of these questions that some people have got kind of throwing out there.
Okay, yeah.
So,
let's throw some questions out there. Let's go, guys.
Yeah. So
we've been ranting.
Anyone had some questions for us? Let's go ahead and spit it out.
I'm going to say one thing real quick. I'm just reading a tweet from The Athletic, and in their post game, they were talking about this game. They said, and this is about the LA's offense, so Chargers offense. He said, everything about this offense feels safe while they have an effing Terminator at quarterback. Because it's like Justin Herbert still balled out when he was still injured. He was still out there doing his thing and still playing super well. So people, regardless of what happened and how the outcome is, respect once again for Justin Herbert for the way he played and still threw 3 touchdowns, 333 yards or 334 yards, still did his thing. So either way, let's talk through some
He's such a gamer, but the line has to protect him, right? And and those hits, look, these lads are big, dude. I mean, look, that guy, what was he, 330? I'm drawing a blank on his name. The defensive lineman for the Chiefs, Jones. Is it Jones? Yeah, Jones.
Yeah, Jones.
Yeah, Chris Jones. That guy's a big dude. That guy's a big
huge,
dude, man. If that guy fell on me, dude, I'd be dead. I'd be pushing up daisies at that point, right? So, the fact that Herbert could get up and move around, it's really interesting. Having said that, the Chiefs are a premium team. I think we learned a lot from it, which is sad. We should have gotten it for sure. But anyways, let's go through some of these questions, guys. Let's go through it.
Yeah, before
keep your questions coming, guys. Keep your questions coming.
Carlos got a really good comment here right now. The people are posting a bunch of clips of Mahomes talking about it in an interview how he straight up said that's a great defense for the Chargers. I'm glad some of those picks got dropped and some flags were thrown. I mean, so they literally, those refs literally bailed him out of a lot of problems in this game. So, realistically, this was kind of a good dub for the refs, basically. Of course, that is our that is our mantra as a Charger.
Yep, 100%. It's weird how sometimes it seems like it favors one team specifically, and Chargers generally get the short end of the stick. I mean, even going back to the Raiders game when there was that pass interference play where it was an uncatchable ball that ended up being a touchdown for the Raiders. That's short end of the stick. That shouldn't have been a penalty, but it ended up becoming a huge factor to the outcome of the game. But that's how the cookie crumbled, right?
You know what Brandon Staley would say? Don't put it in the hands of the ref, right? Do not put it in the hands of the ref, And you could look at it that way. You could point fingers, but those are excuses at the end of the day, too. I mean, I know Brandon Staley would just say, you know what, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't have gotten to that point, right? But I think that's what's hard, guys. I mean, that's the tough part about it. What other questions we got now?
Okay, here we go.
I like Omar's question that just popped in as well, too.
So we going back to some of the ones we had. So obviously sweet jumps. So these are from a way earlier. Yeah. So what's up with Herb? The ribs? I think it's
ribs.
Herb ribs. Ab injury. So
definitely not serious. Definitely not brisket tomorrow. So we know that much. But if anything, it's gonna be bruised ribs or something like that. So yeah.
But so he got an X-ray. They did not say it's. They did not say ribs. So
no ribs.
They said they're dealing with an ab injury. That's all it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Brandon Staley says. He says he's okay.
Soft tissue.
With soft tissue. Yes. I think really what it sounds like to me. By the way, I've been reading a lot of articles right now as you guys are talking, as we're talking, and it looks like he just got punched in the gut really hard. That makes sense, right? So
I mean, yeah, that guy
we've
was
all been
running
in fights. We've all been in fights. Got socked in the stomach, right? So yeah, it hurts, right?
Yeah.
So ab
I mean,
injury.
that linebacker was like coming at him like full steam, so like holy moly. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that was good.
Yep.
All right, there you go. An earlier one here too. Steve Doyle, do you think we got some respect now? I mean, yeah. I mean, I think people always respect the Chargers. They know that we're a tough team, and they see who we got, and what we about. So yeah, 100%. They're gonna respect us. Because that was a tough match right there. And there's someone else who said too. We had straight up like a big ask to be able to beat the Chiefs in 4 days after just having a rough match with the Raiders too, So it's like 2 divisional opponents right away. That's huge. That ain't easy.
That's big.
Right.
That's big. Right.
Pipkins ain't
I'm
easy.
even looking at the
Pipkins
ain't easy. Dude. Hey, we gotta make these shirts, bro. God, we gotta make these shirts. I want to rep our Bolt Bro shirts. You gotta make this up.
Yeah.
So by the way, again, I'm reading every article I can about the X-ray. None of them are saying there's a rib injury here, guys. None of them. So
nothing about ribs. Okay.
So I think we're okay unless something else pops up, but I think it's just going to be there. So what was the question? Next question though, Kyle, for sure.
Yeah, we got some more. Yep. So how did Murray play? I think we kind of talked a little bit about him. He only had like 2 tackles in the game.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly what his coverage grades were and stuff like that, but like he wasn't actually balling out too well. Obviously the top 4 of the game was Derwin James, Drew Tranquil, J.C. Jackson. He still had some good tackles in there, despite his coverage issues. And then Asante Samuel, of course, they all balled out pretty hard. So, but Murray, he was down there. He was kind of low in the total.
Yeah, I noticed though. I will say this: they are rotating a lot of linebackers in and out, right? So they're not keeping 1 or 2 guys out there the entire time, right? I mean, Drew Tranquil's out there. Drew Tranquil, bro, guys, Tranquil is balling out, guys. He is looking so good. DJ looks amazing. You look at our defense. He's the guy. By the way, J.C. Jackson had 6 tackles. He had 6 tackles, right? So he did well. I just think his coverage was a little bit off. We're talking a little bit. I mean, let me put this. It's not a country mile. It's just it was a little off, right? He was off just a bit. So yeah.
One thing, and I know Kenneth just said something talking about biggest letdown was Palmer. And so I remember when I was saying kind of earlier in the game, I was like, something seems out of sync with Herbert and Palmer. That doesn't seem like they're very like on point. So actually, Kenneth right here, biggest disappointment player. Yeah, I'd probably say Palmer for the moment because early in the game, he just didn't seem very in sync. He seemed really off and everything. Positioning the ball seemed weird. I mean, it's kind of uncharacteristic of seeing Herbert throwing kind of weird position-based passes. But it just seemed like they weren't on the same page for some reason or another. So I'd probably say disappointing. I'd say him.
We got a Chiefs fan in here. Good to see
you,
Chris.
Go.
Hey, that's great. That's great. No, guys. Like
there's another fellow like last night. When I was doing the thing. Yeah, his name was Hefe. It's all good. Yeah, I'm glad you're here, Chris. I mean, so
hit that like and sub. We like your boy from the Wild Wild West podcast. We were talking to him the entire game, man. Entire game, Alex. Let me give a little thought on Palmer, guys. I said one of the biggest reasons why we lost this game was that Keenan Allen was not there.
Yep.
Palmer took his spot. You cannot replace Keenan Allen. Okay.
No.
Palmer, Palmer is not Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen finds those zones and he opens things up. I go back to the Raiders game. There were 3 throws to him that Allen got himself open so Herbert could throw him the ball when he scrambled. Palmer does not do that as well. And that's I go back to this. I think Allen was the biggest difference in the game. He was not there. And then secondarily, our injuries piled up and it affected us moving forward. And I think our offensive line just let Herbert down and he got punched in the gut quite a bit. So you don't replace Keenan Allen easily, guys. I mean, that bottom line, he's a big part of our success. So
that stadium got kind of quiet there for a bit, didn't it?
Oh, it did.
Yeah, it was quiet in the beginning.
Quiet.
No, well, even in our group thread with Alex Gibbons, he was pretty quiet in the first half.
Yeah,
I
he
ain't gonna
was. He
lie.
was like, "Oh my god." Yeah. By the way, I kept saying, "Oh my gosh, our defense is dry humping Patrick Mahomes right now."
Mm-hmm.
You know, and hey, we look good, but we did not look good the second half, right? So
Yeah.
what does that tell you? I think we did not switch up our blitzes the second half. We started doing things over and over again. And again, when you start becoming predictable, guess what? They are going to adjust and they're going to beat you. Okay.
Yep.
And that's the truth, guys. That's the truth.
Yep.
Yes.
I got more questions here. You go. Yeah.
Okay.
Blaze Fitty. Why was the offense rushing to score like they were down?
Yeah,
Hey.
we talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
And that's that. There was which drive was it here? I could pull it up.
Well,
I think
it was a drive
6th and 7th
drive.
touchdown.
Yeah, it was a drive with your touchdown because we tried to rush it and we weren't set. Yeah.
Yep. And so there was a time where we played like 3 plays and we were like, oh, let's rush to get to the line, And we had the ball for maybe 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Defense got thrown right back on the field, came back again, did the same thing again. And you're just tiring out your defense. And I felt like that's what pretty much ended up changing the dimension of the game because we're trying too much, then forcing our defense to try to make a play again. And so it's odd. And I think those are the things that Joe Lombardi was trying to do, to try to find a way to change the third quarter. And it really didn't go well. In my opinion. So
and one thing we have to say too, this is the beginning of the season, right? I think there are there's kinks that need to be worked out, just like anything else. You got new players out there, new things. You have to adjust to injuries. Not having Keenan Allen's big. I mean, you can't replace Keenan Allen moving forward. But I like the hurry up offense. I think Herbert really likes the hurry up offense. But I think when a perfect example, that pick 6 that we threw, Everett was not ready for the ball to be thrown to him. Okay. He was not. He was tired. He was gassed and he gave up on the play. Herbert should have thrown to somebody else or thrown it out of the end zone, but hey, hindsight's always 20/20, right, guys? So that's the whole point.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that was the only thing. Yeah, they were trying to gas the other side. They're trying to make them wear them down a little bit more. But I know, like, they were talking about that in one of their college games I was watching, like one time where like they would just spread out the field, make the other team like run from one side to the other side, like constantly, whatever like that. So like that way, like, they're just trying to move the game. And so get these big boys, to have to run a lot more laps, like it's gonna gas them, so.
And I think the big thing for us too is that we got to figure out our run game just to be a little bit more balanced too.
Absolutely.
We need to be.
Absolutely.
And we are kind of a little bit of a one-dimensional offense right now. And so if we could, and we have a good set of like running backs. I mean, Kelly ran pretty well. Yeah. He had some good rips. He seems like a totally different running back in my opinion. Sony Michel, he's not too bad. Eckler to me is not really like a running back kind of guy. He's always kind of more of a pass catcher, which you saw kind of later in the game, which I feel like they're underutilizing his passing catching ability because I feel like they haven't been doing that as much. So I think they're kind of forgetting that, but we need to find a way to be able to get that run game going because that's the thing that drains their defense to make them tired. And you could wear a defense down that way. Not saying I want you to run it first and second down every time like Joe Lombardi did and even Anthony Lynn did. But we need to be able to have that mix and that threat ability out there. So we'll see. We'll see if that kind of gets fixed.
Go to this question down here, Kyle.
I got this one here. We still got ones from way up top. So we're still working through them. We're still working, and we're getting new ones too.
This is the one I wanted to talk about.
Okay,
Johnson is a freaking stud.
Yeah.
Now, there's another question down here. Did Johnson give up the sack to Herbert or was it Filer? I believe it was Filer because Jones moved over to Filer's side and he wasn't beating Johnson at all. He was not beating him.
Yep.
So Johnson, we could have not gotten somebody better. I'm so excited. He did well. So it was really him moving over to the other side that made a huge difference. So Filer gave up that sack from what I saw. Now, again, why he did could have also been because we had a backup center in the game. It wasn't necessarily Filer's fault, right? Remember, Corey Linsley was out of the game at that time as well, so that made a huge difference. And again, remember, the center is the one that's calling the protection scheme. And guys, you cannot understate how important a center is for the offensive line.
Absolutely.
Right?
When Clapp came in, that I'll be honest with you, I think with Linsley going out, that game completely changed. From there, the wheels fell off the tracks, and it just kind of went downhill from there. So, in fact, I wanted to do a video on Zion Johnson on how good he is. His base is amazing, and Jones could not go anywhere with him. He did nothing. Now, I'm going to give one other prediction too. Zion Johnson has at one point played center. He played center quite a bit at Boston College. I could see if we don't sign Linsley again next season, or if his injury is pretty poor, he could maybe step up and become the center, which could be interesting to see what happens, because you could bring Hymas in there or maybe move Filer over. There's a lot of things you can do. But hey, Zion Johnson could also be the center, which could be interesting to see. But that guy is a straight up beast, guys. I don't know
about that. I think it would be better for Johnson to take the right tackle position as opposed to that. And I think who could take the center position would be Jamari Salyer.
Yeah, he could.
Well,
but you have to remember too. You need a smart guy there. Salyer isn't exactly the smartest guy out there. Zion Johnson is a very smart guy.
Well, Salyer has played every single position on the offensive line. In college.
But he's been a lot like in Georgia. He was a lot on the left and a lot on the right, not on the center.
Correct. So, not center at all, though, Kyle. He was not center.
No, he did play center a little bit, not as a whole lot, but he played literally every single position, like at least for 50 like snaps or something like that. Each position. Yeah. But yes, primarily when he won the championship with Georgia, he was left tackle. So
correct.
But I'm just saying is that I like Zion Johnson on the right side. Like I want him there, not center.
Sure.
That's why I'm saying.
Well, but again, we're getting a little off track here. But my point is, Zion Johnson looked really good.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
then also, but also, I will say this: when Linsley went out, that's when the offensive line went completely off the track.
Right.
Completely off the track. And so, the two injuries that I'm going to be tracking this week, obviously, Allen, Corey Linsley, Pipkins. Woo! Aether, what's up, buddy? Aether shows up. Yep.
Hey, there's
well, obviously Herbert, yes, for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it looks like we did get through two. We did get through two of those questions. That second question that we answered was from Ernest. Yeah. So we got another question here from Ernest. There you go, right there. DeAndre Carter, what do you think? Another great catch? Absolutely, dude. He's been clutch. Ridiculous. Yeah.
Clutch.
Yeah,
guys,
absolutely clutch. Guys. Like he's like honestly, even the first game against the Raiders, like when freaking Allen was out, he stepped up in a really big way. He went like 60 yards and a touchdown, and what did he go this game?
Yeah, he did pretty well this game too.
Yeah. Well, actually, he only got one reception for 12 yards.
DeAndre Carter? No, he got 3 for 55.
Oh, no, 3 for 55.
That's not what the game book.
Yep, he got 3 for 55.
Oh, that was a first half summary.
Yeah.
There's a lot more than that. Yeah.
Yeah, he got 18.3 yards a catch receiving.
Well, not as good as the first week, but he still did pretty well.
He only had 3
for a guy that could step in. That's great. It's interesting though. I feel like Guyton has not been played at all, and I kind of predicted a little bit of that in the offseason, that I was like, I think that there's a chance that Guyton could be really pushed back on the wide receiving core. And I was almost saying that he could be even cut, but that didn't happen. But I feel like Guyton is almost gone in this offense. And I don't know what that deal is, if they're just not looking for a downfield guy, or DeAndre Carter's the guy that took his position. So I don't know. I mean, that's kind of an interesting observation. I feel like I haven't even heard his name at all.
Not even at all. He was out there quite a bit.
Yeah.
But nothing was thrown to him as well too. So very interesting. Very interesting.
We had MT pop in here. He's from KC too. He's a KC fan and everything. And I just kind of want to give him a shout out. He basically said, y'all have a real fighter in Herbert. Hope he's okay. Chargers D is scary AF. And
big time.
I don't really come out of this game feeling too beat up or like saying, man, we didn't try. I honestly feel like, okay, we got some real dogs out there. We got a defense. We got a guy that's a quarterback that has been known now that the Athletic calls him the Terminator now, because he's just like a robot out there able to still make these laser sharp throws. Like, we have a lot going on here. Now it's just about what's going on with these injuries and bouncing back to the Jags game. Like, my mind's already, let's just go to the Jags game and move on. But we have something serious here, and we've all known that this offseason. Now it's just the NFL noticing that, with the amount of talent we have. So I'm ready for the next game, and I'm ready to get this thing going for against the Jags.
Yep, me too. We do got a thing from Aether here, but I got some more questions still. We've got to get through. Kenneth McKinney, there you go. He got another question for us here. What about that stupid double pass play? What the hell, bro?
Pass play, stupid
double pass play.
Oh yeah, that was dumb. I was like, what are you doing? So first off, as an offensive coordinator, I'm not an offensive coordinator. I'm an offensive fan coordinator, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an offensive couch coordinator.
Yeah, offensive couch coordinator, exactly.
We need a headset on the side. What the hell is going on? A clipboard walking around?
Yeah.
Hey, that would be actually a really, really good T-shirt, by the way.
Oh,
like a couch coordinator.
That would be a good T-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm an offensive couch coordinator.
Yeah, that's right. got a clipboard and everything with a bunch of plays. Whatever.
You got your popcorn there, you drink, all that good stuff. It's great. So that stupid double pass play. So to me, I am not a fan of doing a play behind the offensive line. I'm thinking always ahead, and those plays to me have so much room for error. In my opinion, because if one guy just comes in and disrupts it, it's a wrap. Like, even sometimes screenplays bother me too, because if one guy isn't in the right position to block the right guy, that guy just steams in and just boom, end of that play, loss of yards. That's a wrap kind of thing.
Yeah,
that play was kind of dumb. I understand, try to throw some wrinkles in there. I get it, but I don't. That was a dumb play. When I saw that, I was like, what are they doing? This is a wrap.
Yeah, I mean, you draw it up hoping that the defense doesn't make the play that they did, but they played very sound defense.
Right.
And dude, literally, when he threw it back over, it almost got blocked out of the air, and that could be ruled a backwards pass, which is basically a fumble, right? So yeah, I mean, look, you draw it up hoping it works out the right way, and there's a reason why you do it, but there's risk involved with those as well too. So I mean, again, another tick against old Joe Lombardi. We're going to remove his head from his body here pretty soon. We'll see what happens. So he's going to get some death threats. I'm going to start. Hey, we'll do with a little Game of Thrones reference for the watch.
For the watch.
Gab him.
Yeah,
with the skin, dude.
Well,
for the watch.
A freaking double pass plays like that, though. That's such a college thing to do. Like, I think
it really is.
It really, like, those types of trick plays, like, I just don't see them working the pros ever. I don't know if I've ever seen a double pass play work in football. Actually, no, I do take it back. LaDainian Tomlinson, he did a couple things like that, that was the only time it worked, because LT's the GOAT. That's it, we don't got
there's
LT.
a very specific time when you want it to go. Like, you don't want to throw it into the blitz specifically, because if there's people in the backfield, they can obviously disrupt the play. But if they're you want to pick a time, maybe like when there's a prevent defense or something very specific, that's when you want to do it, right? That's the whole point of a screenplay, is you're throwing it to the blitz side where they're blitzing, so then the offense can get in front, and then you get to play behind the defense, right? So he just picked a bad time to call that play, but it obviously was not executed correct. So very interesting.
So just kind of an article that I popped up about, and I'm trying to find something that's going on with Trey Pipkins, because that kind of randomly came out of nowhere. But I saw an article that talked about Corey Linsley and how he left the game with a knee injury. They were saying he was questionable for coming back. So the one thing too, and when I read into that, Brandon Staley is very, very cautious with his players.
Extremely cautious.
Tends to want to say, hey, if you're a little bit injured, let's just keep you out because we got a long season. there's a side
Yep.
to that that's like a good thing, but then there's a side to that that's a bad thing because it
Right.
really
Agreed.
takes off talent off the field. And I
Yep.
get it. You want to protect your players. It's only game 2 of the season. I get it. But like there is a level of like, hey, this game could be the difference of winning a division or not winning a division. Or it
1,000%.
could be a difference of, getting in the playoffs, not getting in the playoffs. So it's just one of those things. Like there's almost like
what did they say about Trey Pipkins and what did they say about Corey Linsley?
Yeah, just Corey Linsley, just about the knee, questionable. They didn't give it kind of an idea of it, but Trey Pipkins, I don't have anything on him.
So he just kind of like tweaked it
Still
a little
nothing
bit.
on Pipkins, huh?
So
Nothing
yes,
on Pipkins.
basically, I mean, I fully agree with you though. Yes, I understand it's a long season, but I also understand that every game in the division is a playoff game for us this year, and you got, and we have a long. Kind of a longer game week till the next game. So it's kind of like a bit of a bye week a little bit for us because it's like a longer time. So you can work out whatever you need to work out in that time, I think, with these players. So I think, yeah, you're right. Like that's being a little bit too cautious with our talents and stuff like that. Like freaking keep them out there, man. Like that really did change the rhythm of the game by far. So
for sure.
And so and that kind of leads us into our next question here.
Made a huge
Do you have more thoughts? Okay, yeah,
okay.
But here's another question from Ernest. Okay, here it is. Are you sure the sub center was in during the sack? I think the sack that took Herbert out of the game is I believe he's probably referring to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was.
He was absolutely out there. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, guys, look, Corey Linsley is a Pro Bowl center. Pro Bowl center.
Yep. Yeah.
And you get Will Clapp, who was picked up as is basically just a depth guy. That's a problem, right? That's a problem. Yeah. And again, I really felt like as soon as Corey Linsley went out of the game, all of a sudden the Chiefs became an amazing defensive line because they were not that good beforehand. And so that's what frustrated me. And again, to your point, though, getting Linsley out of the game, you worry because then you're starting to take shots on guess who? Justin Herbert, our crown jewel, right? So, it sucks. It sucks that we're, that he's getting hit, right? So that, we don't want that. Anyways, next question.
Right. Yeah. Yep. All pro center, that's for sure.
Yeah. Next one's actually more of a just a statement. Aether coming in.
Aether.
Here we go. Yeah, there it is. Everyone is killing me, bros. Our defense was great against best QB. It's only week 2. Why does everyone mad about me? Tell me. What is everyone mad for? No, we're not mad. And here, we're actually being pretty positive about everything, I think. I mean, and the truth is too is that we recognize that really there was a couple of bad timed penalties on our huge game-changing events that we had.
Yep.
And so
it's a game of inches.
And literally I think freaking Patrick Mahomes must have freaking prayed to the correct gods this weekend or this week because all those opportunities fell his way. Yeah, that's where the dice is rolled, shoot.
Well, and he even said that in the post game too. He's like, man, I'm glad that those 2 picks didn't happen because Asante Samuel could have walked out with 2 picks, 1 pick 6, and that would have been a 14-point turnaround for us. We would have been at 31, 35 points, give or take, and they would have been stuck at 10, and that would have been a wrap on the game. It was literally those 2 missed picks were basically a 14-point turnaround in the game. Pretty much.
Agreed, Ernest. Yep. Jamari Slater's a real deal. I really think he is. I think there's some things he needs to work on his footwork. I think I read an article about him a while ago that they're very high on him, but I think they want to. It's like his hands. I think it's his base. It's a lot of little things that he needs to focus. It's like Trey. Perfect example, guys. Who are we talking about? But this is even before the season. Everyone's talking about how DeAndre Leonard was getting burned, and all these guys were getting burned deep, and I'm like, guys, it's very difficult for any rookie to step in and play game 1 of any season period, right? And Jamari Slater is very good, but he still has things that he needs to work on, right? He's not perfect. So, again, they were talking about footwork. They talk about a few other little things, hand placement, so on and so forth. But then again, you look at someone like a Zion Johnson, and he is absolutely ready to play, and he's shown why he was a first-round pick. So, anyways, that's my take on him. But you're right; he could play right guard. He could also. He's very versatile. That's one of the nice things about him as well, too.
Right.
But my feeling is they might bring in Brandon Hymus over Sawyer just because he's got a little bit more experience underneath his belt.
Sure.
But you never quite know, right? You never know.
Like it.
Yep.
I like it.
Sure.
Yeah, see, Ernest has another. You have any more thoughts on that there, James?
Nope. That's it. I mean, we're
cool.
good.
All right, so Ernest got another one. Kyle Van Noy, how did he look? Better than game one for sure.
Man, I don't know.
Oh my
I thought he looked good in game one too, though. I thought he looked in game one too.
Freaking Echo is trying to sing over here. Wait, it's singing.
Shut up, Echo.
Such a lonely day over here right now. What the heck?
Oh Echo, get out of here!
You trolling me, Echo? Oh my gosh!
Echo, you better toss that thing out the window.
Stop!
Echo, shut up! Shut your damn mouth.
Hang on,
KVN. By the way, Kyle Van Noy almost had a pick too. You guys see that, right? Kyle Van Noy almost had a pick.
Almost had a pick. Yep.
And guys, we were so close to flipping that game so many times. There were 4 picks. Kyle Van Noy almost had a pick. That ball literally was in his hands and he was going to run.
Yep.
And man, I'm telling you, it's one of those situations you just go, my God. But look, Kyle Van Noy, I remember one of the sacks that Khalil Mack got. He literally pushed one of the guards all the way into Derek Carr, aka Guy Liner, aka Big Busta, and Khalil Mack got the sack on the other side. So again, he's doing a lot more pass rushing, and he had one play where he came in right up the middle, completely untouched. He's really being used as more of a hybrid linebacker / pass rusher up the middle is really what his deal is. Drew Tranquil is doing some pass rushing as well, but I think Kyle Van Noy looks really good. I'm very impressed with Kyle Van Noy for sure. He gets a lot of he doesn't get a lot of credit for what he does on the field. He's kind of an unsung hero, kind of like a Sebastian Joseph Day or an Austin Johnson, in my opinion.
Yep,
absolutely. Like, and I mean, I was impressed. I mean, KVN, he actually had a couple of disrupted passes. Like, he did. He tipped a whole bunch, and that's what I expected to see out of him. And he performed pretty well. Like, I mean, he wasn't all over the field tackling fools and stuff like that, but like I don't think they were targeting his coverage at all.
Area a whole lot.
So he was actually doing pretty well. And so and he's doing exactly how I expected him to do. Like and so that's where I think he's doing really well. So
yeah, most definitely.
100%.
I know Kenneth was asking what our names are, by the way. So
Andrew.
For some reason, I thought we had our names at the bottom.
No. Yeah, when you have that up, there we go. It should be.
No, it's not popping up though. Still,
no, it's not popping up.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah,
that is.
Yeah, I'm James. We're actually just brothers.
We are actual brothers.
Brother. I'm the middle brother.
I'm the best looking brother. I'm the best looking brother.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
The wisest, the smartest, and the sexiest. We all know this.
Yeah, whatever.
That's why you're the prince.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, man.
I like that. Right. You call me the king, bro.
You ain't the king. You ain't the king, sucker. Yo, okay, I take it back. You are the king of busters.
Oh, there it is. Whoop, there it is.
Whoop, there it is. Or no, it's swoop. It's swoop. Yeah, swoop.
There it is.
Anyways,
it's swoop. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
Next question.
We got some more questions. I think we had a couple more. Let's see. There's a Calvin Noy one. Here's another one from Aether, I think. Here we go. So, I love how Coach Staley did on the defense, but it's time to take control of the certain offense call in the situation. If Coach needs to take charge, what do you think?
Take control of a certain offense call. Yeah, and it's interesting. And earlier in the game,
I
when we were playing offense,
Lombardi.
Yeah. Well, and earlier in the game, I remember watching
we're
when we had the ball. Yep. So Brandon Staley was actually, it seemed like he was talking into the mic and had like the play calls too. So I think there is some level that he's trying to get very involved with the offense some manner. So I don't know if that's something that they need to do more, but I definitely think there needs to be a lot more conversation on that. So yeah, I agree. There needs to be a little bit more control on that side. It's tough as a head coach to manage a team, manage a defense, manage an offense. That's putting a lot on your shoulders to really try to play a game and be focused on trying to win the game.
100%. What I was going to say is, I again, guys, watch my video I did about Joe Lombardi. I'll tell you right now, he's on the hot seat. I think there were some of his play calls that were just bad.
Yep.
And again, you could argue that he called 70 some plays, right? Let's see what he called 74 plays. Okay, that's a lot of plays, but he played. He called some crappy plays, guys, right? And so I guarantee Brandon Staley's going to sit him down and say, "Hey, bro, we need to have a conversation. You're making some bad choices, and in these situations, I want you to do this, or I want you to do that, or I want you, And again, those are kinks that need to be worked out a little bit. So, but it's also frustrating. It's frustrating for fans, because we're sitting here looking at him going, dude, what the hell are you doing? I could call better plays than he could. Okay. Straight up. Belly option on two, break. Let's go.
All right. I guess you're going to be we're going to have the first option or offensive couch coordinator over there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's me. I'm the offensive couch coordinator. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is good. This is good.
Good. There you go. Then Ernest, going back to some of the other questions. Here you go. Has Kelly earned more touches? Because we talked a little bit about how Joshua Kelly was out there. Rhythm is a thing. If so, who does he take touches from?
Eckler. Obviously Eckler.
Yeah.
I mean, he's running better than Eckler. I mean, right now Joshua Kelly averaged 5.5 yards a carry. Eckler was 2.8.
Yeah.
So
right.
But Eckler did more in the passing game, right? So that's the difference. I mean, guys, there's kinks that need to be worked out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Agreed.
Yeah, I really do feel like Kelly's doing a better job at the running back kind of situation, and maybe that's just because they don't expect him to run when he's in the backfield. Because last year I remember that whenever Kelly was in running back position, it was a guaranteed pass. They didn't use him for running at all. They didn't use Roundtree hardly for running. So the defense knew that if either one of those backs was there, it was going to be a pass play, hands down.
Yep.
Right. So, now with Joshua Kelly in there and stepping up the way he has so far, they got to guess. And so I think he's earning a lot more possibility to step up into a bigger role.
100%.
For sure.
100%.
For sure. I mean, the thing is that we have a pretty wide running back core right now. And a lot of teams, even to say the Chiefs, even looked at McKinnon was out there, or Clyde Edwards-Helaire was out there, Isaiah Pacheco was out there. There is this kind of trend where there's a lot of three type of running backs that are starting to be utilized throughout each team. So this whole idea of one running back is kind of an old idea these days. And so I do think there's a level of, hey, maybe the hot hand needs to be, dealt a lot more these days. And so, or do the dealing of whatnot. And so Kelly seems to be getting some good rips, and Eckler's really not getting as good a rips at all. So I think that, I think it's something to think about. I mean, if Kelly keeps doing that, he's going to get more carries for sure.
Yeah, totally. Here we go. Ernest had another one here. What corner was beat on that last touchdown? That's a good question here.
I think that was, let me see if I got that in my notes. Last touchdown. That was,
let's see who, I'm gonna look it up. I'm looking at it in the games book here too. Ball possession and drive chart here.
By the way, a lot of people, so I'm just asking, some people saying, hey, Kenneth is asking how many wins we're going to get. A lot of people are predicting us 11-6. I think 14 games is good. I think 13-14 makes a lot of sense to me.
I was thinking 12-5 for us. But,
12-5 makes sense as well too. So something like that makes a lot of sense to me. JC Jackson, it sounds like everyone's saying. So Again, guys, Jackson's got some things to prove. At some point, guys, humble pie is good, but it's good to have it at the beginning of the season, not the end of the season, because you know why?
Yep.
We want to be hot going into the playoffs. And going back to some of your things we talked about, these injuries, right? One thing that I do like and love and hate about Brandon Staley is he keeps people out in certain games, especially at the beginning of the season. He would rather have them sit now. By the way, I promise you, the game against the Jags, anyone who's kind of hurt, he's probably going to sit.
Yep.
Probably going to sit. And you never know. What if Herbert's really hurt? You know what? They might say, okay, fine, we're gonna do a lot of running, and we're gonna run the ball, running back by committee. We're gonna beat the hell out of the Jags, and get our running game going right, because the Jags are the Jags, and we could beat up on them. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that moving forward. But look, we got to get hot when it matters, and the only time it really matters, guys, is in the playoffs. We all know that. That's the only time it matters. So keep that in mind with injuries and so on and so forth. What other questions we got?
Yeah, well, I think that's. Oh yeah, here to go.
Yeah, no, we got. I guess we'll just do two more. I know Aether had a really pressing one that he wanted to talk to us too, but we got one more before him, and that's about it. So,
got it. Awesome.
Yeah. So how much? Yes, this I know. And I think you wanted to talk about this one real quick too. You're like, oh, I want to talk about that.
Man, Tillery. You know what I call him? I call him a speed bump. That's what he is. He's a speed bump. But he did get a tackle and he did get an assist. Man, I feel like the man is just confused. Like he doesn't understand where to be or what to do. Now, you can argue all day Morgan Fox is better, and he had a better game week 1. Morgan Fox had exactly the same stats, 1-1, but he did get a pressure on. I do remember Morgan Fox getting a pressure on Mahomes. Yeah. And Tillery, dude, he just looks confused, and it's like, what are you doing out there, buddy? So, I don't know. I just, he's a depth player. He obviously gets some rotations here and there, but I don't see a whole lot that is exciting for me in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, so, I feel like that was like the first appearance that I've seen of him this year. And I was like, oh no, 99's out there. Not good. Not good. That was my first thought. What is he doing out there? Get him out.
Yeah. In earnest, I would say this too. I do think JC Jackson played well enough.
Yeah.
I do think he got exploited. And again, guys, you have to remember the other team can make plays as well too, right? Like Mahomes is a pretty damn good quarterback. I mean, let's be very clear. He's a good quarterback. He's an excellent quarterback, arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the entire league. So just like Herbert can make amazing passes, so can Patrick Mahomes, right? So at the end of the day, you cannot sit back and say J.C. Jackson had a bad game. Yes, he got burned on a few plays. But again, it was the first game he's played with an injury. So, and Kenneth, you're exactly right. Run defense looked good. I think we only gave up 97 yards rushing, which is awesome.
That's a big difference from last year.
We should definitely do a PFF ranking video maybe tomorrow and sort of break down where we sit right now, because I really want to see where we end up, on that, because I think we only gave up 97 yards rushing is what I'm seeing. So anyways.
Yep.
The last question here.
Okay, I got it. Yep. It's more of a comment as well from Aether. There you go. Here it comes. This game was a must-win for the Chiefs. Look at the Chiefs' next 5 games and our games. Yep. Tell me how we are going to make up one game, please, my bros.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We have the next 2 games, and this is actually is ironically going to be kind of my final thought, anyways. The next 2 games for us. So next 2 games of it for us should be very, very winnable games.
Yep.
Jaguars and then the Texans, and then we play the Browns. We'll see kind of where that one leads. But the thing about it is this is just one game. We're going to go into our 3rd game. If we end up losing to the Jags, that is when we need to be alarmed, because 100%. Now we're thinking something's not right and something is not clicking. I think at this point we lost one. Cool. Personally, I expected a split with the Chiefs. So we're on track to my record prediction, basically. So I'm okay with it. And I'm okay with it. So next game, if we do great against the Jags, all's grand and fine and dandy at that point. If we lose, all right, the house is on fire. We need to figure this out. So
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't panic too hard from this game, guys, but I think Aether put up a pretty good statement there. I think we're going to be able to make this game up. And we do play the Chiefs in November 20th, I believe, back at SoFi. So that
day
will
after
be
my
a great
birthday.
game too.
That's the day after my birthday. Yeah.
Hey yo.
Right.
Yep.
That's why you got to be at that game. And then the next game is here in Arizona.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed 100%. Wait, and I'll be at that game in Arizona for sure.
Yep.
I'll give you, go ahead, Kyle, do your thoughts and I'll give my last thoughts on it as well.
Well, I was going to say too, is like, I mean, we definitely have a softer schedule on our next 5 games. And
Yes.
I believe, and Aether and I were talking about this one a little bit last night when I was doing the Madden simulation. And I really think that their next couple games, they can go 3-2 on those, and I think we could go 5-0 on ours. That's what I'm predicting on ours. So, but I know Aether he believes that the Colts are actually harder than we might expect, and so we'll find out more about them on week 2 here.
Right.
But because they got the Colts, they got the Bucks, then they got the Raiders, then they got the Bills, and then they got the Niners, and then Titans. So they do have actually a tough couple games coming up before we face them again too. So
Yep.
Yeah.
So a couple thoughts. Our next games are easy, but my concern is our final games are hard, right? So their games are very hard. These next few, but we end because we play the Jaguars, we play the Texans, we play the Browns, and we play the Broncos. Look, I think Russ is sus. I don't think he's that good. I think he was a bit of a cancer in Seattle. I don't think he's that great. So I think we should win that game. The Seahawks, I don't think they're that great. Geno Smith, he got a W, but I don't think they're that good either. And then we play the Falcons by November 6th. Then it starts getting tough again, guys, right? So then we play the Niners, then we play the Chiefs. We should beat the Cardinals. I don't think they're that good. Kyler Murray just seems like a turd to me. And the Raiders, I think we'll beat the Raiders. In Vegas. And the Dolphins will be tough. Titans will be tough. But, guys, we're going to end strong. We're going to end with a tough schedule. So, okay, my final thoughts are this. If we had Allen, we would have won this game. Okay?
Yep.
Because Palmer did not step up. He was not Allen. He did not do what Allen did. Injuries hurt us this game 100%. So our defense looks awesome. Okay? Yeah, you could argue that we didn't put enough pressure on Mahomes, but nobody puts pressure on Mahomes, technically, And I think our defense did great the first half, did not get as much pressures on the second half, and that was the difference in the game completely. But moving forward, guys, the future looks bright, man. I really feel like, guys, we're okay. We just got to make sure that we don't beat ourselves. And that's ultimately what we did today. We beat ourselves. Right, bros? We beat ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely.
And again, sometimes I get really frustrated with Lombardi because I feel like he's playing not to lose. There's a huge difference there. Let's run the ball. Let's do Marty ball. Let's do this and that. Come on. Let's put a freaking knee on these guys and choke them out and put them to sleep, right? And
especially
I
the
feel
Chiefs.
We should have done it. We should have done it. And
agreed.
That's what frustrated me, right? So, again, I think we're going to be butter because we're going to be on a roll here pretty soon. So,
that's right.
But again, I think these next games will be Ws, and then hopefully that momentum will carry into some of these other teams. So, back half of the season is going to be hard for us. The Chiefs' back end of the season is going to be easy for them. So, that could be good, that could be bad. We'll see how it goes. So.
Right.
Yep, for sure. But that's it, man. You guys want to wrap this thing up and call it a stream? Definitely a little bit longer than after a loss to be able to do a stream on that and want us to have the knife dug a little bit deeper into our hearts. But
for the watch.
For the watch. Well, hey, you know what? I'm telling you that is the life of a Chargers fan, though. A lot of times,
exactly.
We just feel like we just get just gutted all the time. Just It's a seppuku. Yeah. You know, all that
Little
kind of
Harry
stuff.
Carey action.
Oh,
Yeah,
geez.
dude.
Yeah, man.
Not good. Not good.
Oh,
Yeah.
so bad. But let's
Anyways.
just wrap it up then, guys.
Yeah,
and then,
absolutely, guys.
appreciate all the support, guys. Appreciate all the comments. We love
Yep.
hearing from you guys. Once again, like, subscribe, share the video if you like to, too. But once again, we're the Bolt Bros here. I'm James. It's my brothers, actual
Andrew.
brothers, not just bros, like, bro, homies. Those are actually my brothers, Andy and Kyle. So let's do this, guys. Bolt Bros.
We out.
Let's go. See